Hey everybody, this is John Carelli, your average guy, and Average Guy Opinions. This is part 2 of Creepshow movie we watched last night. Creepshow 1 and Creepshow 2, excuse me. So we reviewed, I guess we just talked about it, didn't really review it. Logan, I don't know what, this is a review apparently for these damn Gen Zers. But let's talk about Creepshow 2. Make sure you're nice and loud.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go. Now? I remember the middle part was the one where they go to the lake.
Middle
right?
part was the raft. First part was Old Chief Woodenhead. Third part was Hitchhiker.
Yes, all very good. I thought.
Yeah.
I really like. Let's talk.
Let's see. I think the raft. It's funny, but I definitely think it's the worst in the series.
Like out of all 8
Yeah.
Over the 2 movies.
That's yeah.
Possibly. I like it a lot because it's so 80s. It's so classically 80s.
Yeah, but also, like, you know, it's just the little things, like, there aren't many times in the other, like, Creepshow things where you're just screaming at a character to do something. Like, just swim.
Yeah.
Like, even if, like, one of you swims one direction, the rest of you swim the other direction, there are ways out of this. Like, I don't know. But, like, in stuff like Jordy Verrill, where a solution is offered where he could just go to the doctor, there's a very plausible, like, explanation because he's an idiot and he thinks he's...
And he's also in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And he's also growing grass out of his face.
Yeah.
So it's like even the most idiotic of idiots would be like, I don't know if I can I can get a doctor to do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have touched that meteor and sucked my fingers.
Yeah. And so yeah, the raft. Also, the special effects once the thing grabs them are amazing. Yeah. They're horrifying. Yeah. Like, they're really, like, it's like such Cronenberg type body horror that it does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great reference. I'm not a big Cronenberg fan, and that's probably why. Because when I was even older than you, I was like, "Gah, can't watch this stuff." But yeah, so the first one was good. Let's talk about Chief Woodenhead because that was great.
Can I?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah,
I was gonna say that, like, the effect when it grabs onto people are amazing, but also how it looks when it's not grabbing onto people. Is
it looks like a trash bag with some bones thrown on it.
It looks like a trash can with, like, old, like, ramen noodles tossed on it.
Yeah,
it's not even like,
it's just a big plastic mess. It doesn't look that great.
Yeah, it's interesting how, like, I think Romero's wife, or Tom Savini's wife, had to learn to be scuba divers to pilot it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did look that up.
And
sprinklers.
I thought it was a dozen rattlesnakes.
Exactly. That'd be perfect, wouldn't it, for this for the Creepshow? The neighbor has dozens of rattlesnakes. Just uncage them. He's tired of our talking loudly.
When the camera first, like, pans over the kind of oil slick type creature, it's like the sun's reflecting off of it, and you can't see much of what it is. Like, they're kind of doing that alien type tactic where they're keeping it in shadow. But the more it goes on, the more you realize, like, they don't have anything to show. They're just, it doesn't look good.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, and that was part of the 80s that I liked it. It had the Cronenberg effect, which was really effective. It had the hokiness. It had the 4 idiots. I mean, well, one guy's smart. That feels like such an 80s horror trope, like, also,
it had the non-consensual sex, so that's a point against it.
I was getting there, but like and you have the one guy that's smart, and all the rest are idiots. But yeah, and then the smart guy really kind of, basically sexually assaults.
Yeah,
she's in her sleep on the raft, and he just starts kissing her whole body. It's crazy.
After 2 of his friends have died, and while they're still surrounded by a blob-type monster, there's a lot to be said for the 19-year-old libido. I know they had to get tits in the movie, but I don't understand why they did it this way.
That was weird because, like we talked about last night, if they're going to show breasts, they should just have the girls take their tops off when they swam into the lake in the first place. It was very bizarre. Yeah. It was very bizarre if you're going to have to show breasts for them to do it that way. It was pretty uncomfortable. But I explained to Logan, I was like, in the 80s, that was I'm not saying it was okay, but it was probably done more. I don't know. It was kind of messed up. So let's talk about Chief Woodenhead, though, because we only got 5 minutes.
Chief Woodenhead is good. Still don't think it reaches many of the heights of the first movie. I really like the puppet design of old Chief Woodenhead. Like the sound design and the puppet design, it really seems like it's just like wood that's like struggling to move.
Yeah, to come to life. And George Kennedy's in that, and George Kennedy was also in Naked Gun, and he was also in Police Squad, which led to Naked Gun. And if you ever get a chance to watch Police Squad, I highly, highly recommend it. So premise of that one is George Kennedy and his old. Well, they're both old and they're about to retire. They run this shop in the middle of Arizona, and it's just a dead town. And the wife's like, "We got to get out of here." And he's like, "No, I want to stay and help these people. It'll turn around."
And then, like, a very nice, like, Native American man says, "Here's like the people of this town have decided you've given so much to us. We're gonna give you like some special jewels, and like you can keep them if we don't like repay you in some other way after a while." And as soon as he accepts him, the like nice Native American guy's horrible nephew comes around and like shoots up the store and somewhat intentionally kills like the two shopkeepers. Like he doesn't feel remorse over it, but I don't think
it's pretty intentional.
I don't think like it didn't register to me that he had intent to kill them.
He didn't when he went in there, but things get heightened, and
But he didn't give a shit at all. I'm not defending him at all. I just
he's a terrible person. That we can agree on.
And then old Chief Woodenhead comes to life.
And Chief Woodenhead, just to explain, is like one of the cigar store type of Indian, carved in front of this guy's store, and the guy's always taking care of him. That's the very beginning shot, is him painting war paint on his face. Says, "Oh man, I haven't kept you up in a while. Let's get you up." And it ends up there's a spirit within this wooden statue.
Yeah.
And he goes and exacts revenge after these three punks.
First guy gets a bunch of arrows in him. Second guy gets just like beaten to death with a tomahawk.
Yeah.
Third guy gets scalped, and then it's kind of ambiguous what happens to him, even though he's dead. Definitely.
He sure seems dead, and it's great because he's the lead guy. That he's the real jerk of the three. He's the one that kills both the store owner and his wife, and he also is talking about how wonderful his hair is, and they're going to go to Hollywood, and he's going to be a star. He's a real twisted guy. And then, so it's fitting that at the end, and I kind of called it on that one, that he would get scalped. I was like, yes. And then the last one
is the hitchhiker.
It's a good one too. Very typically 80s too.
I really enjoyed the hitchhiker. I really enjoyed like the main character. It's clear that like she's relatable, and that like she like everything she does like makes sense, and you can see where she's coming from, but she also represents like the worst aspects of people. Like you can tell that she's remorseful about like what she did. Like she ran over a hitchhiker when she was speeding. You can tell she's remorseful, but not remorseful enough to actually like turn herself in or accept any of the responsibility.
Or even look and check in on the guy. And so it's one of those psychological ones where it's like, is she dreaming all this, or is this all really happening? And it's almost like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Occurrence at Owl Creek Bridge. I think it's a Mark Twain short story where the guy is getting hung. I think he is for being a traitor. And there's a whole, and the rope breaks, and it's over a river, and he swims away, and he can hear the dogs and the soldiers chasing him, but he's trying to get away. And then at the end, it's just the guy, none of this happened. The guy was hung and is dead. And there's actually a short film on that that's really cool. It just reminded me of that. So I'll let you finish up. We got about a minute, so go ahead and talk about the hitchhiker. If you want.
I kind of lost my.
Sorry.
So the main character is really good. Like, I feel like she definitely gets across the kind of joyous energy of the first film, because like she's kind of coping with this through like making jokes with herself and like telling herself how it isn't real. The makeup effects in it are like really good. Just the way this guy like gets brutally disfigured more and more like over time. Like he first like he gets hit, and then he first gets hit by a car, and then she like tries to run him over and over again. And I guess that's all the time we have.
I guess so. Well, those are the 3 movies. Logan and I will work on our rapport, because I feel like we can bounce stuff off each other and keep it rolling without, me distracting him too much, so he can get back on his train of thought. But that's okay. This is what this is. It's a fun little learning process. I'm glad to have a guest, and I'm glad to watch some movies with you the last couple nights, so that's been fun. All right, talk to you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Bye.